take a second to introduce some guests we have tonight, Girl Scout Troop 60429, right?
It's
602. Thank you, Rob. But anyway, they're here today. They're working on their democracy badge, merit badge, right? So part of that is to understand how their local government works. They reached out, so they're here to witness a town board meeting in all its excitement and glory. Would you ladies care to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Too exciting for me. Lori, if you could let the record folks reflect that we have a quorum present. Ron Waddick is absent today.
Recorded.
Approval of last meeting's minutes. Does anyone have any edits for last meeting? A motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Do we have any public comments on the agenda items? Perfect. Move on. The new owners of the American Hotel stopped in the other day. I happened to be here for their liquor license. The state requires them to give us a 30-day notice of establishment. We can waive that. We've done it as a town in the past. And I guess in my mind, it's always been that way. I don't see the need to hold them to 30 days. So with the approval of the board, I will sign a waiver and give that to them, waiving our 30-day.
Make a motion to accept that.
Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Project updates. Eric's here from Water District 5, or from CPL on behalf of Water District 5.
Yeah,
You're going to give us a kind of an overview of where we're at?
Yep, give you a quick update and answer any questions you guys have. So we were kind of hoping to be out to bid by now with the original schedule. So currently we have comments back from State Department of Health, County Highway, State Highway. The holdup right now has really been a couple things. Geotech, obviously you were involved with the geotech permitting with the state, which is an absolute cluster, I will say. Finally got through it. The other holdup right now has been the DEC. So the DEC was essentially put on hold with their wetland stuff. So what happened was they changed the rules last year. They were challenged in court. They didn't abide by their own seeker guidelines. So essentially everything's been put on hold from a seeker, from a DEC review standpoint. So our subconsultant that does our wetland delineation really didn't know how to write the report until that kind of been resolved. She's kind of got a direction now finally, so she's anticipating submitting that report at the end of the month. At the same time, we are planning on doing the resubmission for the plans to all the agencies. So the hope is that later on this summer, we'll have those comments back. We can get this project out to bid. So really the remaining items, like I said, is really the DEC approvals, the geotech, which will be completed hopefully soon. We still have to truly iron out the pump station property itself. We've still had discussions, but because of the other issues, we haven't rushed those discussions. But we've talked in the office about getting those rolling again the next few weeks. But once those are kind of enacted, the other thing that we're keeping a watchful eye on is the bidding market. Oil prices we're a little nervous about, to be honest with you. Pleasantly surprised, a couple weeks ago we had a bid down in the town of Pomfret. Those bid results came in great, but it really depends on where you are and what the contractor availability is. So hopefully things are stabilizing a little bit and heading back in a good direction. But so like I said, hopefully a couple months from now we'll have a true discussion of when we're going out to bid. But I think we're still at least 2 months off before that can happen.
Okay. I know part of the seeker update was in the budget, right? The updated rules were in the New York State budget.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So why, standard all day, why there's legislation in a budget. Like,
Yep.
I don't think we're not gonna resolve that here.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just, for everybody that wasn't following, that was part of the budget.
So Eric, best guess with your crystal ball, shoveling in the ground September, October maybe?
I would
now,
say
or-
October, but like I said, I hate giving dates.
Yeah.
I really do, because everybody remembers the dates I give, so.
Oh, we'll remind you of
I
it.
had to give a young engineer that lesson a few weeks ago, so I said, be careful of the dates you give, because people stick it, they
Eric
stick
used to
with it.
guarantee that.
No,
Times have changed, Jim.
I know.
so, but overall, like I said, I think we're in really good shape, we just gotta button up a few items.
Okay.
So any questions for me?
Anyone from the crowd have any questions on water district or Eric?
So that's.
Where's
how-
the service on the loan at currently, or what's been extended?
I don't have the budget with me of as far as what's been expended, but it's really,
Water?
Water District 5.
Cause aren't we coming up on the first audit, and that's 25 grand in and of itself?
no, not until you spend $750,000.
We've already done the auditors have already been here, done the town audit, where there's questions back and forth for 2025, but they've already done that. So,
Yeah, well,
as far as original budget for the year, there was a plan to spend, let's see here. Yeah, so far this year, we've spent 58,000 out of the water district fund, so, most of that is, engineering and permitting and that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then just the money that, is part of the loan that was taken out originally, right? That wasn't just a short, small
Yep.
amount, right?
Yep.
That's sitting in our in the water district's NICLAS account gaining interest. So, depending on the day, they do pretty good. Sometimes it's $4 or $5 a day, so that'll all stay within water district 5. So, while it's delayed is not great, the flip side is that you're accruing money into the account.
Yep.
I guess what would be the expense of the refiling, or isn't there any, right? Cause we now have to go back to each of those agencies and refile for it, or not?
No, no expense to the town,
Okay,
that's
so that's-
anticipated.
Okay.
Yeah, it never goes in first time, no matter what you do, you're always gonna get comments, right? So,
That's all.
that's always anticipated. Yep,
Yep.
Eric,
yes.
I don't know if you're aware, but there's an issue with the pipe going across Doran Road up by 5 and 20. Sean's not here, but if he was here, we could talk about it. But anyways, he's thinking about replacing the culvert there with bigger diameter pipes.
Okay.
How's that affect?
Where is it?
The
Doran Road, in the-
Doran
in the
Road,
valley.
where you
Oh.
go down to the ponds on each side and where the pumping station's gonna be?
I think we'll have a good discussion about that, cause we can, cause we're gonna be crossing that with the project, so yeah, we'll reach out and let me.
But I believe he told us at the last meeting, he was looking August, September at the latest to do all that whole project, be done with it. And you won't even have anything in the ground yet.
Well, we may wanna figure out a way to get,
You gotta figure it
while
out.
they're
Right.
digging that, we wanna figure a way to get, at least get the pipe across there, so. That way we're not repaving and, so, yeah, thanks for that comment, or reach out to them.
Well, I talked to Andrew down there, and he does have a way of blocking the water. That was my thought, is what's gonna happen to the pond water,
Mhm.
and how's that gonna affect Eric across the street? There's gonna be a big gush of water going across the street to his pond, and that, but he says, no, he's got a dike or whatever upstream farther, so,
Okay, so the
That's-
town crews are doing that then?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
that's you guys are doing.
What's that?
That's you guys.
No,
are doing.
no,
Can
no,
we
we're not.
roll that in as a damage from the But, no, well,
We have, so a reminder, so as you complete the project, if there's grant money left over, it can pay for stuff like that, just so you know.
okay.
So if there is stuff that we've impeded, roadways that have been damaged, remaining grant funds can be used for some of that stuff, so.
But is any of that liability on the contractor too, if he does not leave the site the way it should be?
Correct, yes, yeah. Now, what I'm saying is, You know, if there's a culvert that is in a condition, there's no way you can protect it, right? Those kind of things. So, you've been, been in the business, right? You dig around, there's nothing you can do, right? It's gonna fall apart. So, those instances I can't really blame the contractors for, but yes,
Right.
if they do something on their own, yes. Okay.
I'm good. Thanks, Eric.
Okay, good night.
Thank you.
Update on Siemens project. So we're looking to start here within this month on the solar panels at the library. They were looking out for some information on any warranty on the roof that's up there. I don't know if we would have anything like that. It's been there for a long time. I just haven't been able to find anything. And the other thing that I actually found out was 2 weeks ago on Thursday is the upstairs bathrooms, the town is gonna contract the contractor that went through Siemens. So I met with them last week, got an idea of what that work scope is. It's roughly $192,000. Jim's working on the contract for it, right? So I guess all I would need, we don't have the contract written today, but I guess I would need approval to act on it. Should we get that all done and buttoned up?
It's the legwork's been done, put in place, so let's get going and get it done. I make a motion to go ahead with the bathroom project upstairs, as long as the money is there within the project.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Time frame, did it give you any time frame when they can start?
They want to start as early as next week potentially,
Oh.
but, so, that's why I'm asking them. We just didn't get it ready for everyone to review here, but it's gonna be a standard AIA contract, pretty much, right?
Yes.
Everything else I gotta, address there. Court security, Adam, you wanna give us a kind of update on
Yeah,
that?
so if you remember at our last meeting, we voted, on Omni's bid. They could cover everything for $16,000, and with the metal detector we could get on state bid, that keeps us under our grant total, so it would be no money out of our pocket. Andy Luft came in at the end of our last meeting. I spoke with him the day after our meeting. Siemens did end up sending us a quote for the intercom system and security cameras, and he gave me 3 contacts for windows and doors. I called all 3 multiple times, had 2 of them never called me back. 1 set up an appointment with me, and then was a no-show. So they're a loss. Unfortunately, we need to move forward because the project needs to be done, and
We only had so many days to use
correct,
that up.
in 180 days from the date we received receipt of the grant, which was February 24th.
Yep.
And so we have until July 24th to have the project done and our paperwork submitted.
Yep.
So I reached out to Omni. They sent me another bid slip that if we could all sign today. I'll pass it around. It's the same thing. Numbers are the same, 16,000. And they can start work as early as June 23rd or 24th. And they feel confident they can be done within our window. So I'll just pass this around. If you guys can either initial on the bottom of each page or at the end. They sent me a link online that I can accept electronically, but I wanted everyone to lay eyes on it before we move forward with everything.
It's the same one, essentially we reviewed last year.
Yes, exactly, yep. Gives an itemized breakdown of all the equipment and stuff that'll be part of the project.
So they're gonna do it from start to finish, the whole project.
Yes, correct, and then I have to get with Jen and get an invoice for the metal detector, and then Livingston County is actually gonna come and help us with the install of that.
That's what you had said,
Yep,
county
and so that
workers will
that
help.
will be additional, there'll be no additional labor costs.
And that's just a plug-in unit, it doesn't need any special wiring. or
Correct.
anything.
Yep.
Last page here, right?
Yep. I'll just go through the supervisor's report real quick. General fund, we received a little over $9,000 this month. Kind of the one I guess I'll highlight in there that sort of surprised me, from, you know, considering the first check we got was the cannabis sales tax was almost 5,000, a little over well, it was $5,714.06. I think our first check was $500, so that's quite an increase. That runs through the quarter that ended in February 28th. So,
So that's gonna be, that was a quarterly check, or?
Yep. So we had budgeted, you know, just, I printed you guys off the sheet, but, sorry, we got these, I don't get up till today, so I sent them to you, but I know you probably didn't have a chance to review it. Year to date, we're a little over $6,200, and we had budgeted 10,000, so we're in pretty good shape on that. As far as what we anticipated in budget,
That balance should end up at
potentially a little more.
$15,000+, should at least.
Yeah, potentially a little bit more than what we had budgeted. I think just by the time we get the check, so the end of like 2026 will come in 2027.
Right.
That's how the last one worked, but yeah, overall, that's, you know, that's a lot of extra revenue that we didn't have last year, so, yeah, and then that's pretty much it as far as, just highlight things as far as our receipts. We did on the, highway department to get their reimbursement from New York State for snow and ice, a little over $9,000. Yeah, library just had interest, the rest of it's all pretty much just our standard stuff, interest and things like that, so there's nothing too exciting, there. Water district, 5 interest was $538.93.
Making money right
Last
now.
month, right? Yeah, we still don't have water, but you're making money. It's a great deal, you know? Does anybody have any questions on that? And then the only thing I wanted to point out to you guys, I'll have to make a change on our A-side budget. If you look at, it'd be A1620.2, the $21,000 payment in April was coded to equipment and building capital outlay. I believe that should go down to the next line in building contractual expense. That's the lease agreement with Siemens. So that's why you can see that budget item is
Black.
out of whack. Yep. And the other one has a pretty good balance in it. I think it was just coded to the wrong place. So I'll have to get that moved.
So it should be in 4R, is that what you're saying?
No, it should be in .4.
Oh, point four.
Point
Gotcha,
four.
gotcha.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Other than that, I think everything is in pretty good shape. And then, yeah, everyone, what did I do with Jim? I left it on my desk. Clerk's report. I think I left it laying on my desk. Did you guys get Charlie's report? for
The
code
other day.
enforcement?
The only, lot of activity there, that's good. It was brought to my attention by a resident of the town, and I hope it's been taken care of. The gentleman that owns the commercial property at the corner of Heath Markham and 15A, was there a building project started without a permit? And then weeks or months later, a permit was issued. And I'd like to
I'm not
have
sure.
that looked into if we could. Make sure that's.
What was the,
Yeah, I know he's been here, Mark, lives over in Rush. He did. He has the business there on the corner.
Yep, on
So,
the.
all right, thank you.
And then, the other thing with code enforcement that I kinda wanted to talk a little bit about, we've got actually quite a bit of activity going on, which is, a good thing, but it's also can be overwhelming with paperwork and things like that. I'd reached out and talked to Sharon Knight, our planning board secretary. She's willing to come on, and work 1 day a week to help administer the paperwork and that kind of stuff. It's a relatively minor cost for what we're doing. It'll probably be around, by the time she starts, a $4,000 to $5,000 expense. for the year. We have the money to do that. I think it's gonna, two things that it's gonna do for us. Right now, if Charlie were to walk out in front of a bus, we don't have a backup, you know, so that whole process would stop, you know? And it's a lot easier if something were to happen to have somebody come in and just do inspections temporarily than it would be to have somebody take that whole thing. You know, so the other thing is it'll do that and then hopefully streamline the process.
Well, that's, I think we've talked this before, it would make it more fluid and look more professional to the people coming in that have properties they want us to review. And instead of putting them off for 2-3 months with having Sharon there, it would keep the process rolling. I am all for
It
that.
gives them a single point of contact that they can deal with that's not got a bunch of stuff, and she's gonna help with filings and maybe I didn't bring. All right, okay. I know she emailed it to her.
So she sent it to us.
But yeah, so that'll help streamline those processes and things like that, so as long as nobody has an issue with that, I'll continue that conversation with her, and we'll give her some expanded roles and responsibilities. And on some of those, she'll be, you know, she still has her roles with the planning board, you know, she'll still report to the planning board with those, but for the other stuff, she'll report to me, you know, and then I think we have some just overall process improvements we can make.
You want a motion then, or?
She's already an existing employee, so I don't think we need it, unless,
You might as well put it on the record that we're gonna expand review these.
okay, yep.
I make a motion then that the board goes ahead and approves Sharon Knight as part-time help to the code enforcement officer.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Highway Department, I know Sean's out. Today I went out to Pond Road on Friday. That's quite the undertaking of a construction project. They got going out there, they're not just pouring gravel in a hole. So hopefully, that buys us a little bit more time to make a longer term solution. I know he was gonna build, I don't know if he's got started on it, I couldn't really tell, I didn't wanna drive down there and nose around, but he reached out to me about some old, you know, we have at work timber mats and stuff like that, and he wanted to use them to kind of build up a retaining wall to hold the slag and stuff, so.
So what happened, if people don't know, at the end of Pond Road, because a lot of the rains and just winter thawing and everything else, part of the road started to give away at the very end of Pond Road. And they have been down there doing a pretty good, diligent job on fixing it correctly too, I'll tell you.
How many houses are down there now?
Past where the bad spot is?
One.
There's one down there, right?
Just one?
Yes.
Yep,
Off
Yep.
to the right.
Yeah, it'd be the Torpy
And
residence.
then is that even, like that's how you access the old water line, right? That's the road you're talking about down Dugway?
Yeah, it used to be,
Connect
yeah.
through?
So, yeah, so I think they've done a good job with what we've got. Like I said, they needed some fill and some timber mats. I was able to get those for them. They had to go pick them up, but it was no cost to the town, so.
Great.
Well, I donated $1, you know? But, yeah, so it was just stuff we were gonna have to get rid of anyway. If we can find a use for it, it worked out. We had them down in Alfred, the guys, you know, were gonna go down to them. The other update on the highway department, we had union negotiations here Monday. We were here from 1:30 to about 4:15. I think we're really close to closing that loop up and being able to move on. I think it was just a matter of, we just need to review the last proposal one more time to make sure it's gonna work. But I'm pretty confident that here in the near future, we'll have a tentative agreement for those guys to move forward. So that's something to get behind us. So we're going to,
Hey, John, so,
Yep.
building on the water on Pond Road and, city water, is there an option to reach out to them, cause that's an access point for them to enter the water? Would they have anything in their budget to help us with the road repair?
I
Is it
think
worth
we-
asking?
I think we took responsibility of that road. So, and we could ask, I mean, never, what else are you gonna tell us, no? We could certainly ask, we get told no a lot, so one more no is not gonna hurt feelings, you know? Liaison reports, Christian, go ahead.
I don't have much.
All right. Steve?
Yeah, as far as fire department, everything right now is in good shape. We have an EVOC course, which is Emergency Vehicle Operators course coming up. So I didn't, got up to April, 20 calls in April. Our June drill will be next week at the town barns. It will be a vehicle extrication drill. We were in the Mendon Parade the other night. Grants that we were working on, Nutella, we still waiting to hear that. We did not get the water bottle grant from Anheuser-Busch. May 19th, we had a 3-hour hose testing. All the hose passed on all the trucks. Our mayor was at the NICOM conference looking for money and help for maybe SCBA's and stuff. We still need help with that. Our new pumper is in service. And the old truck is up for sale now. That's that.
Do you have any idea what, John, do you have any idea what the value of that old truck is, what do they think they'll get out of it?
Approximately $30,000 at auction.
25 to 30 is,
Yeah.
Jen, is what we've kind of looked at, correct? Yep.
And if it's, I'm sorry to interrupt, Steve.
That's all right.
And it's something that the village has considered is, if it doesn't bring that to auction, it might be worthy of considering just to keep it as a parade vehicle and not to take it out of service. It has other potential functions that other community members have thought about. It's just, it's up in the air right now,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, I was just curious.
And it still has a very good pump. Of course, we've taken all the hose off it.
Right.
But in a backup and a pinch, if we had to have another service pumper for something, yeah, that would be there. But
But possibly for community events, like, since we don't have a spray park, I mean, it could be something fun to throw out at the park as an event. Just thinking outside the box.
We had a thing when I was a kid, my dad was on the volunteer fire department, and it had like a hose ward.
Yeah.
Right? It was like a barrel keg on a
We used to
stick
have that
with
at
pulleys,
Crossroads.
and you freaking shoot it with the hose as a kid.
We-
had it at
we've had them
Crossroads,
here.
In the parking lot.
That was always fun.
yeah.
Something I remembered anyway, so it must have been fun.
As far as the Lima ambulance report, base was used 10 times this past month. There is a new outbuilding coming from donated by Superior Walls. With that, Meg reached out to me. I've got stone coming from the quarry up here, free of charge. I believe we secured, where's my ambulance lady? I believe we secured a door from Martin Doors. I think they're going with that bid. I got 3 bids. They were the best and the lowest. A non-insulated door for the building. And last I knew, we were going to go with windows with home sources. I'm trying to think
Home
of it.
decor.
Home,
I think it's called home decor.
home decor and Geneseo. Thanks, John. We're going with that, with the windows for it.
And I did sign the contract with Superior Walls so that they can move forward with that as soon as we get the gravel base in place.
Great, great. They had 1 driver application, one EMT application this past month. They have a social media push on right now for new members and developing plans to help retain volunteers. In the rigs, new stretcher batteries are being ordered. They did get the new AEDs ordered. Are the old ones going to be donated or sold? Is there any value to them? Do we
I
know?
believe they're being traded in.
They are getting traded. Okay, so there was a value to them. All right. Strap extenders purchased to allow bariatric patient transport. They have some grant applications in place for equipment and tools. Their HVAC system is broken. Still parts are on back order. Garage door openers, installed mailboxes. The oxygen line for the M tanks is broken. They are investigating replacements. In May, they covered 242 daytime hours of calls and covered 15 calls, 12 of which were billable transports. I will say for the ambulance, it was brought up by a resident here at the last meeting about mutual aid calls, and they were upset with that. Folks, the Lima ambulance gets paid for mutual aid calls, and if you want to be mad at anybody, we go free of charge to our neighboring departments for fires. So don't go taking out on the ambulance for going with mutual aid calls. They do get paid for them. I wanted to make that statement and make it very clear to people here after the comments that were made here 2 meetings ago, or a meeting ago. They're going to have a, tomorrow night, June 3rd, is Livingston County EMS Captains Meeting. Can I make a change? I think that's the run of it with that.
Steve, can I also add, and I'm not going to take away the glory,
Sorry.
but the Lima ambulance put out their first annual fundraising letter that went out across the mail. It was, I mean, Jenna, do you want to comment on that, or Dave? I mean, I received the letter. It was basically, you know, this is initiating the first drive in the community to help support the Lima ambulance in any way they can, whether it's denominational or was volunteer hours. So that did go out, did receive it. It seemed to have a very positive impact in the community. So we implore and encourage people to support your local ambulance for some of the things that aren't really covered within their internal budget, and or if you want something in specific that you want to support, whether it's a stretcher or a particular piece of apparatus, you can specify that on your donation, or if you just want to contribute to the general fund to support the ambulance members with drinks or food or things like that nature, you can specify that as well. Is that fair enough, Dave?
Sure. Yeah, I think the only thing to add to that is the reason it's the first one is because that's a product of now having the nonprofit. So that's one of the jobs that org is now filling.
Thank you. As far as anything with the park, should have everything planted here within the next 48 hours. That's where I just come from tonight. That's just about done. At our park meeting a couple weeks ago, we did have guest Andy Bluff come in with his expertise, and we are probably going to go with a new upgrade camera system, 10 cameras. Not to bore you with all the logistics of it, but we're looking at it's probably going to be right around $3,000, which half would be covered through the village, half through the town. So that was our decision to go ahead with that. DPW will install the product for us. Cameras are in stock and talking where it can be done by the 4th of July. The reason for this, the vandalism and stuff continues to happen down there at the park. The resolution and the cameras we have are not getting enough coverage. It's shameful to have to admit that and what's going on down there, but unless we hire an armed guard or something, I don't know what else to do. So if anybody has any better suggestions, we'd like to hear them.
Rottweilers on a leash.
Well, we got the dog park there.
Yeah. We had an election at our last open meeting, and Brian Smith is the chairman, was elected the chairman of the park commission, and myself, I was elected the vice chairman. We are still going ahead, and we are all coming up with our own plans to bring back at our next meeting to look at a community center and with square footage and design. We will be looking at that at the next meeting, and I believe we did have, I didn't look at tonight's unfortunately, but I believe in that account right now, total I had from last month here was $156,639. Probably more than that now with interest. $156,639. it's gonna be pretty close to that.
I can tell you gained $471.01.
There we go, perfect. We have put everybody in place on our park commission board, the help we've got. Unfortunately, I don't have all the names in front of me. The old O'Brien property we've looked at, and later this summer we are going to be taking the trees down prior to removing the fence and looking, we are going to make that property over by Park Place was donated to the village and it's all transferred over now, I believe, correct, Jim? Well, you went to your town, that's right, village. But anyways, it's been transferred over to the village and, correct, Mayor?
It sounds good, yes.
All right, whatever, we'll go with that. And that is going to be, for right now at least, an access point for ambulance and fire for emergency service to get back in there with all the events and everything more we're using that park for. We cannot, because of traffic and people during the events, it would be awfully hard to get fire trucks and ambulance in there. So that is going to be an access and entry point for emergency vehicles, and it will be a locked gate that can be opened by those people, by ambulance and fire.
Steve, can I also add to that, in the wishes of, and part of the transfer, there will be a memory walk of sorts that still will be applied in that area. So the use, just to specify, is only for emergency access and egress, part of our emergency evacuation plan. But it still will incur some sort of memory trail walk, maybe incorporating the scouts, boys and girls, to help with that, maybe a birdhouse walk, a fairy walk, something like that.
Okay. And last, another thing with that, there are 2 Eagle Scout projects going on at the park this summer. One I'm hoping to hear from pretty soon from Cassidy Juneau's son, unless anybody can add to that and know when he's got a time frame. We'd like to hear from him.
I'll get on that.
All right, thank you. That is going to be the new fishing dock. The money is there from the, donated by the Pumpkin Festival and Ag Day. And we also donated from that for 2 bike racks. There will be 2 bike racks for kids to put their bikes in while they're down there playing on the equipment and on the basketball court. As far as the Pumpkin Festival, going along quite well. We are way ahead of last year, and we just received another nice donation. Thank you, Scott, the other night. And if anybody would like to see anything what they can do for us, which actually it's for the town. The money is all earmarked and goes to Tubbs Park for improvements. I have sponsorship forms and information if anybody would like to take them tonight. Community projects. I know, Lori, we asked last time, it never got on the town website about the park project for the cleanup. I just wonder if there's another way to get the message out to people, or we messed up on that. Nobody, and Brian Smith and I, we cleaned up, so the whole north end of the park, the pine trees had poison ivy and vines and being killed by vines. That is all cleaned up now. I've spaded up underneath. The trees are all cleaned up, ready for Ben to bring mulch.
Can you send us, Jen and I, an email?
Yeah, I'll do that
Exactly
next
what
time.
you want and time
Yep.
and we're meeting and everything, so we don't have the confusion.
And if you guys forward that to me, I can use my website and get it out there.
That'd be great, on 365.
And if you put it out soon enough, we can put a flyer in the water bills to the village.
Nice, nice.
Well, the other thing, I think I'll see if I can't get at least, I don't know if your son would be available. John's son helped here a couple weeks ago. We've got, the fence was terribly overgrown and a lot of dead wood and vines. We've cleaned up a good third, I would say, of the cemetery fence now up here behind Quickfill. I'd like to work on it. It's supposed to rain Saturday, Sunday, be a good time. Can't do anything else, probably work on that again. Like to get the cemetery part done, and then like to eventually clean up all the way down to the old bank. But we've made real good progress on that. If you saw the 2 big piles we had, for maybe 100 feet of fence,
Yeah.
probably. We made a lot of, and Chris got some co-workers from Marketplace, thank you for that. They helped with that, so that's looking a lot better. Other than that, I've got fire department tickets tonight. If you'd like to win $14,000, you're sure of it, come and see me. That's all I have.
Steve, can I add to your parks report? The 4th of July fireworks event is being co-hosted by the town and the village is in full force. We are doubling the fund this year with 6 food trucks with a variety of foods, none of the same, so there's no competing. We also have a selection of craft vendors and artisans. My deal with the food trucks and the craft vendors is I'm not charging any application fee or any show-up fee, but in the past, we've been able to get contributions from them based on their revenues of anywhere from 10 to 15% when they give it back to me, which will go straight to the Parks Fund. So
Thank you, John.
that's a way that we can cross-contribute back to the Parks Fund. Right now, I've got 12 vendors that are committed. It's open season, so if you have a friend or family member or a neighbor that's a craft artisan, have them contact me and I'll tell them when time to show up and where to set up. And it's free of charge. It's a good way to support small business, including the food vendors. And also, we got an ATM donated for free for the event. I will also work with you, Steve, on getting that same person at the Pumpkin Festival.
Great.
That is all.
Court, I kind of already discussed the grant situation, but I will add, Carol had reached out to me, the lawn out here, there's not a ton of it, but there's a little bit of green space out here between the courthouse and, the town hall that wasn't getting mowed. I reached out to Sean, he said that the village there had been an agreement that they would be mowing it, but, I don't know if they were, I mean, it's early in the spring, everyone's busy. Regardless, Sean's guys mowed it here a couple weeks ago. I'm not sure who mowed it most recently. And then as far as the flower beds, Bill Stromovich is gonna take over keeping those cleaned out in front of the courthouse as well. That was another concern that Carol had. Be well, we have a meeting tomorrow night, but since our last meeting, we held the first official Merc Challenge at Tubbs Park. Shout out to John and Dave, John Cates. Tori was there helping out, Dan Proctor. So we had 8 people come out and either complete the full Murph Challenge or a portion of it. The weather was awful, but the challenge itself isn't very fun, so why not add some inclement weather to add to the excitement. So,
Who was the shark, the inside guy that actually won it, I heard?
it was me, but
I was waiting for a second to bring up, but I need to tell you something.
I'm not one to brag, but I did beat 20-year-old college kids. Yeah. So I've been able to, keep that, pat myself on the back. But no, it was. I mean, for the first year, I think I've put this statistic out there before, but globally, only 0.001% of the global population actually accept the challenge. So it's not something that a lot of people do, but it's a great way, especially on Memorial Day, to come out and suffer a little bit and honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, defending this country. And I talked to some of the people who participated this year, and they've already got people that they've chatted with that are planning on coming out and trying to accept the challenge next year. So.
Adam, if you could tell everyone what they do, I think these girls specifically want to do it next year. Most of them want to do it.
Sure. So the Murph Challenge it was created in honor of Lieutenant Mike Murphy. It's a workout that he did on a regular basis, and it's a 1-mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, and then a second 1-mile run. And you're supposed to do it in a 20-pound vest. That being said, we had divisions where you could do a mini Murph, which is, it is pretty wide open. You can use exercise bands to help yourself with the pull-ups. You can use the exercise bands to simulate the lat pull-downs. You can do modified push-ups. So we just basically through, you know, having it through Be Well, we just want to get people out there moving more. And then, like I said, we have it over Memorial Day weekend. It's a good way to come on, honor those that have fallen for our country. So no pressure, but if you guys want to come
Well,
out,
Pennsylvania,
yeah, I'll put you down, yeah, for next year. But so yeah, it's just something that we hope we can build on year after year and get more and more participation. I don't think we'll ever get as big as the Pumpkin Festival, just because it's, you know, of the physical demand of it. But you know, if we could get to 100 people someday coming out and partaking in some variation of the MRF, I think that would be pretty cool. So that's pretty much it for Be Well. Ag hasn't met. Farmers are busy trying to get crops in the ground. And then the Community Connections group met here a couple weeks ago. We're kind of revamping it. Erica Reinhardt Rogo had started it, has since stepped down, and Chris and I have kind of taken over the chairmanship of that. So pretty much where we left off is Dan Marcellus is going to try to get Crossroads to act as a non-for-profit that we can work through as far as raising funding. And then the other point that we had talked about was having some sort of social media account where we could promote, you know, community events and have it just be community events and not get muddled down with politics or gossip or as Lima turns or whatever, you know, we've got going on. We're back to positive Lima, so we can sleep easy at night knowing that. But yeah, having just a simple social media account out there that's just trying to generate community and town awareness for the good things that are going on in the town, I think are our two main goals. And then our next meeting, I can't remember what we did, but we have another meeting coming up here. Oh, June 20th is the next meeting. If anyone would like to come, it's open to everybody, and it'll be right here at 10 o'clock on June 20th. So, all right, that's everything I've got.
As far as the farm committee, pretty much the main point right now is still solar and looking at other communities.
So I did have a couple of questions as far as solar goes. Ashen's plan was a big favorite with the farmers. I had the superintendent or supervisor of Ashen send me their plan. I've talked to John with it. We went through pretty much, and everything that they liked about Ashen's we already have in the plan that Jim's been working on. And so what my advice to the Ag Committee was, if you have, and this goes for anybody, if you have in points of discussion that you would like included, instead of trying to rewrite things at this point, send them to me, and then we can cross-reference, and if they're not in there and they're a good point, awesome, we'll include them, or if they're already included, then I can give, you know, them or anyone that sends me an email verification that it's already part of our policy.
And I'm in the process right now of taking that base that was add-ons and dovetailing it with our code and putting it together so we have something as a really good working document.
Yep. And that was what, like I said, and that was what I told Mike Neenan, the chair of the Ag Committee, was that we were working on it. Worst case scenario, we asked for an extension on our moratorium, and that buys us another year, and the only perk of that is that nothing can go in while we're under moratorium. So there's no real downside to asking for an extension on
As
that.
long as we're making progress, right? We have to
Exactly.
justify it because it's a temporary suspension of landowner rights. So you can't do that without moving in a direction towards your goal. So.
But I think by the legwork that you and us have done, you know, I think that's proof right there that we are trying to make progress on our solar law. And when we do roll it out and when we want to pass it, we want it to be what we want, right? And we want it to have all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted, and not have to do what Ashen did, because they had a rollout plan, and then they ended up having to have a contingency plan that they added after that. So, you know, if we're gonna roll something out, I want us to be pretty certain that that's what we want. And so, like I said, I think the steps that we've taken and the road that we're on is the right one. But yeah, that's what I told the ag committee, and like I said, that goes for anybody, if you see something in somebody else's solar law, send it along to me, we'll make sure it's in there, and if it's not, then we'll add it in. So,
Thank you.
yep,
And I think I will probably put together an extension of that moratorium sooner as opposed to later,
sure.
because that's a local law
Because
process.
we're up to September, right?
Yeah, and it takes a couple months to do that,
Yep.
so I'll put something together that's,
Is that something we have a motion for, or?
Public hearing.
oh yeah, absolutely. But you can authorize me today to do that, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
The only thing I would add to that, Adam, is there was, you get a chance to go through it. Ag Secretary was on Bob Longberry's show this morning,
Okay.
talking about what we had talked about, where you ban prime soils, and I said, well, they just reclassify soils.
Right.
Well, that's part of what they were talking about, that's how the state is.
Is that Mr. Ball, New York State Ag?
No.
Oh, federal.
Yeah. And, Brooke Rollins.
Yep, Brooke Rollins.
So, but that is something that, is happening.
Right.
That they see, so.
See now, right, they've passed that there can be floating solar panels, so luckily we don't have any.
Jersey.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got a spot. You get UV stabilizers for free. Float them on the lagoon.
It's a protected ecosystem, stay away from something like that.
Yeah.
The village has.
The village has a spot. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We looked at doing this, we're still looking at the pond adjacent to the wastewater treatment plant. Been sitting there idle for a while, and it may be a good solution.
As far as old business goes, resource deputy contract, and we've talked about that a little bit, we've talked back and forth. I think we're still a ways away, so we as a board can decide. I believe that the HFL is on board with the 45-45-10 split. I haven't gotten that back confirmed from Christian School. They're on board with that, they have the number in their budget. So it's gonna be up to us to decide, we're gonna have to decide today, do we wanna do the previous split another year, and potentially exit out of the deal a year earlier? Just something to think about. We would have to make that decision today.
But eventually, we're gonna have to, when we come to the preliminary 27 budget.
100%,
Yeah.
hopefully before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just something to keep in the back of your head, that that's out there, and maybe that's a solution that gets them one more year down the road, but they can include, the whole thing in their budget. Because I think that was always the intent. The emergency services contract, I'm just gonna make a stab in the dark, the village has to go through those at their next meeting before they come to us for review. But I think we've got preliminary framework of laid out. So as soon as the village approves those, like I said, I think at their next meeting next week, then we'll probably see something for you guys to review. I talked a little bit last meeting about just thinking ahead about a capital improvement plan, something that goals, things that we want to improve. I think there's certainly a need to do things here at this building, just from a curb appeal standpoint. What that costs, hopefully we're successful on a grant that can give us those directions.
I mean, number one would be the front of the building.
Yeah.
That's one of the main.
Yep, so, unfortunately, we did the walk with Karen, or John and I know did, and Kelly, I think, was there too, right? And we went, around the old historic buildings that they put the plaques on, I think we got the worst one in the neighborhood. Like, as much as I hate to say it, but the reality is the reality, right? To me, I think that's something that prospective people that are looking to come to town or bring business to town, if they look and drive by and it looks like you have no money, they're probably gonna keep buying.
Yeah.
So, I think that's something in my mind that we can think about, but I'm sure there's other things that come up. As far as new business, I don't really have anything to bring to the table today. abstracts, we went through those. General was a voucher range of 145 to 173, total of $41,932.69. Water district was $23,392, and it's one voucher, number 7. And then highway department was vouchers 61 to 73, totaling $83,295.50. Motion to approve vouchers as reviewed.
Motion to approve, bills as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any public comment on any other town matters that we didn't have on the agenda today?
John, you mentioned this, the cannabis tax, sales tax to the town.
Yep.
Does that get issued from the county to the town and to the village separately? Or,
I gotta be honest with you, I don't know where, if it goes to you, but I get it from the county. And it goes
didn't know
to,
if you were cutting the check on that or not.
yeah, it's in the A fund, if that makes you feel better.
Hey, I found them in the building. Okay? Thank you, I'll check into it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not really sure how that's split, to be honest with you.
Didn't know if you wanted to know.
We don't have questions then?
Oh, no, we don't have it.
Yeah, all right. Anybody else?
So I have a question for you girls.
Uh-oh.
You wanna sit up here in a few years or what? What do you think?
No.
We don't have to be so brutally honest.
Hey, you didn't have to come in here with an attitude tonight, okay?
I mean, how do you really feel?
Yeah.
Don't hold back.
Right?
Well, we do appreciate you coming. I remember doing this years and many years ago as a Cub Scout and then a Boy Scout. When I was I made it, I was an Eagle Scout, and you're in a great program, let me tell you. Very good to have you. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Anybody else? Everything? I don't have a need for an executive session, so motion to adjourn?
Yeah.
Steve Wade.
I said 7:30 tonight. I'll make a motion then to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
All in favor?
Thank you.